Well, today we're still talking about our interpersonal self. And aren't we, Josh? And we're in particular, this last one, we're going to be talking about our core needs. And we have 5 core needs. And according to Glasser, Josh, we have 5 core needs. And what's the first one of those?
Well, these are our basic human needs, the things that we need in order to be functioning at our highest self. I have some thoughts of my own on this that I'll share at the end, but we'll start with Glasser's theories, and then we've got an activity for you to do. So our first need is our survival need. This is our basic survival need. We need shelter, we need clothing.
We need air, we need food,
Yep.
we need sleep.
watch a new mum or a mum who's got a newborn who's breastfeeding at night or bottle feeding at night time. Watch how their behaviour changes.
Simply because that essential need is not being met.
Absolutely.
A survival need.
Right.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah.
So we probably don't need to expand too much on that, but it's really important that we understand every human being has a need for survival. And if that need's not being met, it's going to impact their behaviour. Actually, all quadrants of self are impacted when our needs aren't being met. So this is a model or a concept that underpins our entire being, our entire self. This is really important that we understand this. Okay, so the next need that we have is our freedom need.
We all want freedom, don't we? It's a really critical one. Freedom, how does that look though? Freedom for us. What do we really, what does that mean?
Well, it's our basic sense of liberty. It's our sense that we have some kind of control in our own world. I'm sure you probably had some issues feeling like your freedom was being
trapped behind the white cane and behind we kind of want our independence, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We want our own autonomy too, don't we? We want to be able
Absolutely.
to sort of make those decisions for ourselves. No one likes to be sort of like, right now, Josh, you're going outside to mow the lawn. I know how much you love it.
No, we don't. But pose that as an option. It's like, well, look, I've got a whole bunch of housework to do. I need to do the laundry, ironing, folding, vacuuming, mopping. I've got to do the dishes and put the dishes away. I'm dusting. I'm wiping down the benches. I've got a whole ton of work to do. I can give you some options. Would you like to come and help me with all the housework up here? Or would you like to go and mow? Or would you like to...
It's a good way, isn't it? Because it gives people choice.
Absolutely.
I think I'll do the kitchen. How about I take care of that?
Yeah.
And you can take care of the laundry.
Right. It's just a bit of freedom, and it can make something a little bit... I guess like our needs are being met, we're being considered, our needs are being taken into consideration. So all of a sudden I feel a little bit more, I guess, valued and looked after, and obviously that's going to impact my feelings, my thinking, and also my behavior. It's going to allow me to operate in my virtues when my needs are being met. So that's a really important one, is freedom. And again, it's not much freedom that we need, like even in a classroom setting, a young person might just need to know that if they need to go to the toilet, they can go. If you let me know you need to go to the toilet, I will let you go to the toilet. And that can be all the freedom that they need sometimes.
Yeah, that's it. So we've had survival. We've got freedom. What's number 3?
Fun is our next need. We have a need to have fun.
We certainly do. I tell you what, life becomes very dull if we don't have that, sense of adventure maybe?
Yeah.
Sense of play?
Yeah, things being engaging and entertaining, things not being boring and too repetitive or mundane. Things need to be a bit exciting, a bit interesting for us to do.
We all need it.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Creativity, I guess, falls into this category. An opportunity to be creative, an opportunity to not feel like everything is just really not interesting at all. And oh man, I'm just going to be super bored this whole time.
And sometimes that fun might take on the look of, just a fun activity.
Yeah.
They might be going to the theme parks or something like that. But it also might be, I know for me, like playing the guitar is fun. But I'm also learning at the same time. So even learning something that you're interested in can be considered fun as well. So look at those things that really create that fun environment for you. Number 4 now, Josh.
Well, next we have worth. Everyone has a need to to belong, a need to feel like they have something to contribute, and that their contribution is valuable. So people need to feel valued. So our worth need is very, very high in terms of making sure that people are feeling fulfilled and are enjoying life.
This is interesting, and I'm looking back at now, or listening, isn't that a bit funny? I can't even see it when we're looking back. When we're looking back, though, at what we were talking about earlier about listening.
Yeah.
You know, this is a key. I can see this happening in families a lot, in workplaces, in classrooms, where somebody wants to say something and they just get run over by everybody else. They're not being valued, are they?
Yeah.
And they have an opinion. They want to share something, and so being good at listening and stopping is really a good way of helping others to feel worth.
It can be as simple as eye contact or remembering someone's name. I know that I've, met
simple,
influential people before, and then you kind of come back to them the next day at a seminar or something like that, and you're Josh, aren't you? And just the fact that they remembered your name really meets that worth need, and you feel like you belong, like you're valued, like you're memorable. This is something really important in what makes us human and what helps us to, I guess, be our best selves.
So, Josh, we've got survival. We've got
freedom.
Freedom. We've got fun.
Yeah.
We've got worth. And now number 5.
Our last value is love. We need to have connections, whether it be friendships, whether it be intimate relationships, or good, solid foundations in our family. But we need to have love in our life.
That's right. It can be friends. It can be family. It can be a marriage relationship or a partnership together. But it also, in the broader sense, it's community and country and even global. I mentioned right at the beginning of this whole series about we as human beings thrive on community.
Yeah.
That's what makes us, I guess, in a sense, the dominant species in a way. Because me on my own, I could never thrive on my own, against a grizzly bear. Holy smokes, But yet, as a group, look at what we've achieved as a human race. Amazing. Look at the infrastructure and the learning and the buildings that we have and the community that we have and what we've achieved. It's amazing. So love, I guess, takes on a few aspects, doesn't it?
It does. Collaboration, cooperation, all of these things where it's about connection. It's about people being and working together. Even the most introverted person that loves to spend time alone reading a good book still has a basic human need of needing to feel loved. And often it's an unmet need, an unmet love need that will drive that introvert to maybe seek out some company or spend some time with others instead of being by themselves, because right now they're not feeling like that need has been met. And often it's unconscious. We're not thinking like this. We're not really thinking, wow, I have an unmet love need, so I'm going to go and seek out someone. Often it's unconscious, and we are just out there behaving and reacting and doing what we do with these under the surface, unseen, unmet needs, secretly controlling our behavior and winking and nudging and hinting to us that maybe we need to do things. And I guess the problem with our emotional health is that we can be prone to meeting our needs in really unhealthy ways. So we're going to do an activity shortly. I've got a couple of activities for us to do. The first one is, I'd like you to have a think about how we have met your needs in this program, or at least tried to meet your needs. We may not have done a perfect job.
Not all of your needs, but at least some of your needs anyway, that's for sure.
Is there some ways that we have met each need? So in your workbooks, at the core needs page in the 3rd module, the interpersonal module, you will find a section on core needs, and you'll see each need written there with an opportunity to take a few notes under each need. What I'd like you to consider is, have a think through the program so far. What are some little things that Lauren and myself have done It might be production related. It might be content related or more personal, what we've done, how we've done. But just write down a couple of notes. Even if you can only think of one thing that we've done for each need, that would still be a good activity as you not only assess your needs and how you would have engaged in this program if all of your needs hadn't have been met, but also as you start to look from, I guess, a different angle, how has someone else thought proactively about me and my needs and then done something, whether they knew it was going to work or not, but put in place a measure or two of how they were going to meet my needs. And when we come back, we'll share with you maybe one or two things that we've done. We won't give away all of our secrets, but we'll share with you one or two things that we've done for each of those needs. So hit the pause button and come back when you've finished writing down those needs. Well, hopefully you've written down a whole bunch of ideas, maybe five or more ideas of what Lauren and I have done to help your needs be met as you've engaged in this course. And we'll throw out some examples now. So, let's start at the start, survival. What kind of things have we done in terms of survival need? The main one that I've come up with or that I can think of is we've tried to make these bite-sized as much as possible. Instead of giving you 1 2-hour long video that you have to sit down and watch, we've kind of tried to break it up into 7 or 8 minute components. Some are 15, some are 20 to 30 minutes, but we've tried to make it a little more bite-sized so that you can get the sleep you need, so you can go and get food and fresh air and all the things that you need.
Look after your other family members and get to work and all that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess we've also tried to make it affordable for you as well.
Well, I think the second thing, Josh, and I'm going to get these out of order, but I think just what comes to my mind at first is having fun. We hope you've enjoyed this.
Yeah.
We want to make this practical, engaging. Something that you can get your hands on it and really enjoy it and take something physical away from you that you can actually apply.
Yeah, and try to tell stories and use a bit of humour and laugh, and even just one person sitting in front of a camera and talking directly at the camera the whole time is nowhere near as fun and engaging and entertaining as two people. So even just myself seeking out Lauren, hey, I've written a program that I'd like to deliver online. Would you be willing to come and sit next to me and deliver the content with me so that it's more fun for people? That was why I chose to do that, to make this engaging for you, because I want to proactively meet your fun need.
Exactly.
The next need is our freedom need. So maybe how have we met your freedom need?
Well, I can think of in my own life, if I was to apply these, and as I have applied these concepts and ideas, Josh, it creates more freedom. It lifts us from the bondage of those addictions and those bad habits and the spiral down, because the further you go up that spiral, the more the choices, the more the opportunities,
Absolutely.
The more freedom.
Yeah, so even just doing the course at all is our desire, I guess, to set you free in your mental health and your emotional health and see you achieve the things you've always been always wanted to achieve, and break those chains, those things in your life that are holding you back. So yeah, that's freedom. I can also think of, again, kind of bringing it to the pace of the program and giving you the freedom that it's not a scheduled time or you need to do these sessions at this time of the day. No, you've got the freedom to choose which days you log in and which time of the day. You could be doing this at 9 a.m. in the morning. You could be doing this at midnight or 1 a.m. because you can't sleep. You've come and loaded this video up to watch it. So the freedom to watch these videos whenever you would like. And I guess also being able, after you finish the program, to come back whenever you like within a year and re-engage and go through the program a second time. That's a way we've tried to meet your freedom need.
The fourth one was worth, and we hope firstly that it's been worth your time being here, but it's the self-worth, and that by applying these principles, it's helped you to feel better about yourself. Those intrapersonal skills that we've shared with you in in those most recent sessions that we've had, but also the way that we interrelate with those around us as well. And so we can help others, maybe another colleague, another family member, to help them feel a part or feel validated because of the way our behaviour and actions have changed in a positive direction.
We spoke at the beginning of the program about the fact that we're not coming as experts in your life, that you are the expert in your own life, and we're really here just to share the expertise we've learnt on our personal journeys in the hopes it'll be really helpful to you. And we hope that that helps you feel like what you've been through and the lessons you've learnt have worth. We've also invited you to share multiple times in an online community where you can share your worth with others who are doing the program. And also Lauren and I, hopefully we have been interacting with a post or two of yours, and hopefully you've heard some comments from us or read some comments from us, and hopefully we've given you a platform to share your worth and you feel as though we've helped to meet that need proactively. And of course, finally, our
it's a great segue, isn't it, into the final one.
Fifth need is our love need. So, I mean, connection is so important, and I think that online community is really how we've, it's really how we've tried to proactively and positively meet your need.
I've mentioned before about, there is strength in numbers, isn't there, Josh? And we thrive in that environment, and we hope that you have thrived through that environment as well and found some great support. And I think it reminds me of something, all of us as human beings have a need to love and to also be loved as well. And that's on an intimate level, but it's also on a social level as well. And there'll be different people, obviously. When you have that intimate love, it's just with you and your partner. But that social love, so to speak, or social community is a really important part of our existence. And I think, we've really tried to make that a big part of our program, is to have everyone in that online community where they can feel and express their sense of community and love. Yeah.
So I want to give you something to think about now. You will meet your needs, whether it's negative or positive, you will meet them. This is an important quote because, I've spoken about unmet needs, and we can think about needs when they're unmet, but they don't stay unmet for long, because if our needs aren't met, we will seek out to meet those needs, even unconsciously. So if we have an unmet need, it's only a matter of time. And often, unfortunately, so a lot of our defaults, a lot of the things that we do to meet our own needs when they're not being met are fairly destructive, fairly unhealthy. So we're going to do an activity now that's going to help us to see that not so much in ourselves. We can do that, I guess, introspectively and reflectively in our own time. But we're going to hit pause in a moment. We're going to do a quick little activity, and then we're going to come back and have a quick chat in this video. And this is about, I guess, thinking about others. And I don't know if this is helpful for you, but for me it's helpful to think about a group of teenagers, or myself and my group of friends when we were teenagers. But yeah, for me, it's, it's thinking about myself when I was around that kind of 15, 16 adolescent years, and my 20 or so friends when we would all hang out for the weekend, go camping or something. What would we get up to? For you, if that's not particularly helpful for you to think about, maybe think about that stereotypical group of 20 or so 15-year-olds going away to party all weekend. And here's my question, and I'd like you to get a piece of paper and start writing all over the piece of paper a collage of a whole bunch of different things that teenagers do because they think they need that. It might be smoking or drinking or...
Oh, gee, magazines of sorts, and all sorts of needs.
Absolutely.
Hanging out, that's it.
Sex should probably be listed on there.
Yeah, parties.
All the things we think we need. Mobile phones, social networking. Just start to think about all of these things that fill up our life, particularly in those adolescent years, that we think we need, that we would certainly, because we're in that adolescent mind at that stage in life, so we are our feelings, aren't we? We have impulses. Yep. So, I need this 1 hour phone call with this girl, Dad. Like, I need it. Give me the phone for an hour. I need it, What are all the things that we need? I need to not make my bed. My room needs to be dirty because I know where everything is. So write down as many things as you can. Try and get 20 or 30 things down on a piece of paper, and I'm going to put up on the screen while you've paused it. I'm going to put up on the screen an example. So let's do that now and come back in a few seconds. Well, hopefully you've got an A4 piece of paper
This chock-a-block
completely full of all kinds of different things that young people need. And, for some of us, we might even be thinking, well, this is me now. I think, I'm behaving like this now. I'm doing all of these things now. And that's totally fine. There's absolutely no judgment here. This is a safe place. But there's a great clip in The Matrix, and I've put a link in your workbooks that links you through to YouTube where you can go and watch this little clip from The Matrix if you want. It's a fantastic clip. It's right around the time that Neo's just been awoken in the first Matrix movie, and he's up near all the keyboards on the Nebuchadnezzar ship, and he's talking to Cypher about the code, the green letters that are flowing down the screen. And he asks Cypher, do you always have to look at it in code? And Cypher says, yeah, you do. He says, but I don't even see the code anymore. I just see blonde, brunette, redhead. And of course, he's making a joke there that once he's been looking at the code long enough, he doesn't even see the green letters anymore. He just sees what's going on inside the Matrix. And of course, Neo, who's only just looking at it for the first time, can't see the Matrix. He can only see the green letters. Mm-hmm. And this is what happens with us the first time we hear about core needs. And maybe you've heard about it before, but you haven't translated it into real application into your life. But we're hoping you can apply this and apply it so deeply that you don't even see people's behavior anymore. You just see their needs. Because that is a really helpful and transformative and healing place to be in. So imagine when instead of seeing maybe a young person smoking underage, instead of seeing the behavior, that young person doing the wrong and illegal thing, maybe you saw a young person who has an unmet fun need. Or maybe you saw a young person that has an unmet survival need. And so what we're going to do to really help drive this point home, another activity, we're going to pause in a moment. I'm going to put a color legend up on the screen. And so, for example, love is pink and survival is black. And so I'll put that up on the screen. And what I'd like you to do is use a colored pen in each of these colors and go around your collage of chock-a-block behavior that you've written down on your piece of paper and circle each behavior with the color of the need that behavior is probably trying to meet. And remember that behaviors can meet more than one need. So the smoking example, a young underage person who's smoking, probably trying to meet their freedom need, and they're probably trying to meet their fun need.
And if it's a mother that's lost sleep because of a baby that's been up crying all
right,
night, she's now lost some of her survival need.
So she's trying to meet her survival need. She's just trying to survive. It's calming her down. So it's a survival need maintenance. So that'd have three colors of circles. Smoking would have three different colors of circles wrapped around it. So, attention-seeking behavior could be a love need. It could be a worth need. They're trying to have value and input. They're just doing it destructively and unhealthily.
I think of someone who's maybe a bit angry and a bit teenage kids that get a bit frustrated, and it's easy to say, I'll give him a smack, that'll fix him.
Yeah.
But yet he's probably suffering from a bit of a possibly a survival need, but also maybe a worth need too, a sense of his worth as he's struggling with something, or maybe a sense of community.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like he's fitting in, and so you'll find the right need there to circle those ones that you've
Right,
got
so
on
I'll
the
leave the
paper.
colour legend up so that you can pause on the colour legend and spend a couple of minutes now just circling as many behaviours as you can with as many needs as you think apply. And this is a great way for us to start to learn, you know what? I'm not going to look at behaviour anymore. I'm going to look at the unmet needs that once I identify that, can proactively meet. We'll talk about that when you come back in a moment. Well, gee, that chock-a-block piece of paper is now...
It's now pretty psychedelic,
It's
colourful.
now colourful,
It's like a
and
rainbow
there's
now.
circles everywhere, but I hope that you've really appreciated that activity, and hopefully it's going to really help you to start to think in needs and not in behaviour, to start to look beneath the surface to what's going on underneath someone's behaviour. And in a marriage, this can be particularly helpful because whilst I'm getting this aggressive behaviour, if I'm able to not address, because what we get baited into conversations about stuff it's not even about, you know, like I remember a particular argument that my wife and I had after she had a day at work where her boss had changed, and all of a sudden she found herself in a situation where her job was being less valued. Well, she came home a bit on edge. Now, if I was to start pulling her up, hey, why are you speaking to me with a tone right now? And you need to address that, you know? I don't deserve to be treated this way. If I was to start to have an argument with her on the surface, our afternoon and evening would have gone down a very different path.
Yes, spiral down pretty quickly with that.
Right,
Yeah.
but instead I was able to go, hold on, there's some unmet needs here. And so instead of addressing what I felt she was doing wrong at a behaviour level, I started to inquire, what's going on at a needs level? What's going on with you at the moment? Have you had a bad day? I'm sensing that maybe there's a worth issue going on. How are you feeling? And as she opened up and talked to me about what had happened through the day, I was like, man, I'm so glad that I had a good understanding of this needs model and our basic human needs, because otherwise we would have ended up having a big 2-hour fight over how she treated me when she got in the car when I picked her up.
And only making both of your sense of worth, the need of worth, feeling a lot worse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I really hope you can get something out of this. So what I'd kind of want to just leave you with in terms of a take home, in terms of something to really learn, is that when our needs are being met positively and proactively, we're left feeling really happy and fulfilled, not needing to meet our own needs, we suddenly become much more able as humans in our human spirit to live a life of virtue. I am so much more committed and loving with agape love. I am so much more resilient and able to bounce back when my needs are being met. So my virtues, and it's like you said, that adversity only uncovers our character. It only reveals it. It you know. And so my values are already there. My human virtues are already there. If my needs are being positively and proactively met, I am much more able to live a life of virtue and treat people the way I want to treat them and not get stuck in old unhealthy patterns of behavior. That what's probably robbing me of my virtuous life and helping me stay in all of my vices is the fact that I have all these unmet needs at any given point in time that are unconscious, that I'm trying to meet in unhealthy ways. So if we can become people that proactively and positively meet our own needs, wow, we can really start to treat those around us very, very positively and in a way that we can be a really healing for the people that we love and care about.
No, definitely, Josh. It really will make a difference.
Yeah.
And you know what? We've got another great module coming up shortly too about intrapersonal growth. And it's a real great sort of a lead on to that, isn't it?
It is.
What we've been talking about. The way we treat ourselves has a big impact on the way that we look at others as well.
Yeah.
And so we're looking forward to that whole module with you. Some great material coming up.
We are. So the final introspective journey we want you to go on before you hit play on the next video, which, as Lauren said, begins a whole new module, is we really want you to spend some time having a think about what needs in your life right now, in your current situation. You've come to this course for a reason. You've spent, hours investing in this program over the last week or days or weeks. And so, you're about halfway through a bit further than halfway through the program. What needs in your life are currently going unmet? Maybe you're expecting others to meet those needs. And I'm not talking about consciously expecting. My model for degrees of expectation we will be doing in the interpersonal relationships course that will be coming soon. Unfortunately, we don't have time or space to do it in this course, but we actually have unconscious expectations in people. Things that we don't even realize we expect of people, but we do, and we get quite upset when they're not, when our expectations don't happen, but we don't even know that they're expectations. So that happens inside of us a lot of the time. So do you have an unconscious expectation that these unconscious unmet needs would just be met by a parent or a sibling or a spouse or a co-worker or a boss? And is that really, we'll go right back to our hopes and concerns, is that emotionally healthy to not own our own hopes and concerns? This takes us all the way back to the start of the program. And of course, we want to own our own hopes. So part of that is owning our own needs and meeting our own needs. So spend some time before you press play on the next video, journaling and reflecting. Do a what, so what, now what on your needs. What needs do you have? Analyze them. Which needs are currently being met and met well? Which needs aren't being met? And then the now what? How are you going to start to meet your own unmet needs in a positive, proactive way so that you're not destructively meeting them negatively? And that is a really important emotional health skill to have and to put in practice. So go ahead and do that in the next day or two before you press play on the next video. It's really going to help you in your journey. Thanks. We'll see you again in the next video.